Welcome to the world of true crime, where we dive into the darkest corners of human nature and uncover the shocking truth that lurks behind closed doors. Prepare yourself for a riveting journey as we peel back the layers of mystery, unveiling the sinister motives and twisted minds that haunt our nightmares. Pursuit of justice takes us deep into the heart of darkness, where the line between good and evil becomes blurred. Join us as we shine a light on the unsolved mysteries, cold cases, and high-profile investigations that have left communities in disbelief. But beware, for with every revelation comes a chilling realization that the world we live in is not always what it seems. Brace yourself for the harrowing tales, shocking twists, and unexpected turns that await you in the realm of true crime. Ellie Gould was a 17-year-old English student from Calne, Wiltshire, who was stabbed to death on the 3rd of May 2019 by Thomas Griffiths, a fellow student at her school, who was also 17 at the time. Born on the 6th of February 2002, Ellie Gould was the daughter of Matthew and Carol Gould and lived with her family in Calne, Wiltshire. At the time of her death, she was a Year 12 sixth form student at Harden Hewish School in Chippenham, and was studying for her A-levels. A keen horse rider, she participated in local equestrian events, as well as competing in cross-country. She had ambitions to join the mounted police and study psychology at university. Ellie celebrated her 17th birthday in early 2019. In January of that year, she began dating Thomas Griffiths, a fellow student at her school whom she had known since they were in Year 7. Thomas was her first boyfriend. Ellie's mother has commented that her husband wasn't overly keen on Thomas because he didn't say much, but she assumed this aspect of his character was just down to his age. As Ellie exams approached, she wanted to focus on her studies and felt the relationship was not right for her, so she ended it in early May. Ellie Gould said that she felt suffocated by Thomas' attention, and on the night before her murder, told friends he had not taken the split well. On May 3, 2019, Thomas, a resident of Derry Hill, Wiltshire, was dropped off at school by his mother. Feeling unwell, he emailed his teachers about it. However, instead of attending classes, he walked to Chippenham bus station and boarded a bus back to Derry Hill. Once he reached home, he hid in his bedroom's wardrobe, avoiding detection by his mother, who had also returned home. When he was sure she had left again, he took the keys to a silver Ford Focus and drove to Ellie's house. Upon arriving at Ellie's house, an argument ensued between Thomas and Ellie. The situation escalated as Thomas attempted to strangle her and eventually resorted to using a knife he had taken from his family's kitchen. He stabbed her in the neck a total of 13 times. Following the violent act, Thomas spent an hour at the house, trying to clean up the crime scene. He used clothes for this purpose and gathered them in a plastic bag. He also washed his trainers in the kitchen sink and cleaned the knife with an apron before placing it in Ellie's hand, attempting to make it appear as if she had inflicted the injuries herself. Thomas then used Ellie's finger to unlock her mobile phone and sent a text to one of her friends, posing as Ellie and requesting that the friend not pick her up for school. After returning home to change his clothes, Thomas placed the bloodied items in the washing machine and disposed of the bag containing them in a nearby woodland. A neighbor witnessed him returning from the woods and provided him with a ride back to school. Later that day, Thomas sent text messages to his friends, indicating that he and Ellie were going away on a trip together. He also messaged Ellie's phone, asking if they could meet. However, it was Ellie's father who discovered her lifeless body in the kitchen at 3 p.m. that afternoon. Thomas was arrested by Wiltshire police on suspicion of murder at 6 p.m. on May 3rd. The arrest took place outside a friend's house in Calne, and he was subsequently taken to Melksham Police Station for questioning. The investigation utilized evidence from Thomas's mobile phone, as well as CCTV footage tracking his movements. Additionally, a neighbor identified someone matching Thomas's description near Ellie's house. Notably, Thomas had marks on his neck consistent with defensive wounds. Initially, Thomas denied any involvement in Ellie's death, claiming he had not seen her that day and that they had planned to study together at her house. However, the police discovered that the blood on his trainers matched Ellie's blood, leading to his charge of murder. He was formally charged on May 6th and appeared before Salisbury Magistrates' Court the following day. On May 9th, he appeared at Bristol Crown Court, where a provisional trial date of October 28th was set. Thomas did not enter a plea and was remanded in custody. At a plea hearing on August 29, 2019, Thomas pleaded guilty to Ellie's murder and remained in custody awaiting sentencing. The sentencing hearing for Thomas took place on November 8th. Richard Smith QC represented the prosecution, while Sasha Wass QC represented the defense. During the proceedings, it was revealed that Thomas had argued with Ellie before her death, and a post-mortem examination indicated that pressure applied to her neck had incapacitated her. Evidence suggested that Thomas had attempted to stage the crime scene by placing the knife in Ellie's hand to make it appear that she had self-inflicted the injuries. Thomas claimed no recollection of the events and attributed marks on his neck to self-harm, although they were more likely a result of Ellie fighting for her life. A letter written by Thomas expressing remorse was read in court, where he acknowledged the inadequacy of his apologies and explanations. He mentioned his poor mental health at the time of the murder. During the sentencing, Judge Mr. Justice Garnham characterized Thomas's actions as a frenzied knife attack, describing it as the appalling act committed against a vulnerable young woman in her own home, where she should have been safe. The judge noted the profound impact on Ellie's friends and family. Although the murder was determined to be not premeditated since Thomas did not bring the weapon with him, he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 12.5 years before being eligible for parole. Due to his age, he could not receive a whole life tariff. Ellie Gould's funeral was held on the 29th of May at St. Mary's Church, Calne. Family and friends attended the service. Following Thomas Griffiths' sentence, the case was referred to the Attorney General's office under the unduly lenient sentences scheme. However, on the 6th of December 2019, it was announced that the case could not be referred to the Court of Appeal due to the law preventing people under 21 from receiving a whole life tariff. Speaking about the decision, Carol Gould criticized the legal process as a crazy system, where those under 18 have the same starting point as younger children. She emphasized the significant difference between a 10-year-old and an 18-year-old, highlighting the need for changes in the laws. Ellie Gould's friends launched a campaign advocating for compulsory school self-defense lessons. They believed that basic self-defense knowledge would have potentially saved her life, and argued that it should be included as a subject alongside swimming and road safety. Supporting their cause, James Gray, the MP for North Wiltshire, endorsed the campaign. Eventually, on the 12th of March 2020, the matter was discussed in the House of Commons. During the debate, Vicky Ford, a junior minister from the Department for Education, dismissed the idea of making self-defense lessons mandatory in schools. However, she did agree to release guidelines and consult with head teachers regarding the inclusion of self-defense classes if they deemed it appropriate for their schools. Ford highlighted the difference in assessing risks between activities like swimming and road safety, where the balance is more precise, and teaching self-defense depends on students' age, maturity, and understanding, emphasizing its limited application to emergencies. Following the tragic incident, Carol Gould actively campaigned for the implementation of Ellie's Law, aimed at treating young offenders involved in serious crimes, including murder, with greater accountability similar to adult offenders. In August 2020, the Daily Telegraph reported that Robert Buckland, the Secretary of State for Justice, initiated a review of the sentencing process, exploring the possibility of a graded approach based on the age of the offender. This review coincided with the case of Hashem Abedi, the brother of the Manchester Arena bomber, who was unable to receive a whole life tariff due to being 20 years old at the time of the bombing, highlighting the significance of the issue at hand. On the 16th of September, Robert Buckland presented the sentencing white paper to the House of Commons, which proposed amendments to the law regarding young offenders involved in serious crimes. However, Gould's family expressed their disappointment with the paper because it did not address cases where a defendant did not carry a weapon to the scene of a murder, like Griffiths. Gould's parents wrote to James Gray to convey their concerns, requesting that their daughter's name be removed from the proposals unless modified. On the 9th of March 2021, Buckland introduced the Police, Crime, Sentencing, and Courts Bill, which aimed to treat future teenage killers as adults, increasing the minimum sentence they could receive, potentially up to 27 years. Although the legislation did not apply retroactively, it eliminated the right of offenders like Griffiths to have their sentences reviewed. Ellie Gould expressed relief, describing the changes as a huge cloud lifted from above our heads. Thank you all for joining us on this gripping journey through the darkest corners of the human psyche. If you enjoyed this video and want to uncover more spine-chilling tales, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. You won't want to miss a single episode. Remember, truth is often stranger than fiction, and our mission is to bring you the untold stories that lurk in the shadows. So, make sure you're subscribed to our channel to stay up to date with our latest investigations, in-depth analysis, and shocking revelations. Furthermore, if you have a thirst for more mysteries and unsolved cases, we've curated a playlist of our most compelling episodes just for you. Click on the screen to dive deeper into the dark abyss of human nature and explore the enigmas that continue to perplex us. Lastly, we want to express our deepest gratitude to our incredible community of true crime enthusiasts. Your passion, engagement, and comments fuel our determination to bring you the most compelling content. Together, we stand as seekers of truth in the face of darkness. As we conclude this chapter, remember to stay curious, stay vigilant, and stay safe.